guys, it's April and I garden in southeast Nebraska, zone 5B, and it is another garden tour time. The garden is kind of in a weird place. I know in a lot of my garden tours I've talked about things that I want to do. I haven't quite gotten around to any of that yet. This week has just been so weird. There was several days there where I couldn't go outside for any length of time because of the air quality. And I am a little bit sensitive to that, so I wasn't out here as much as I could have been. So on the days where I wanted to do those heavy cut down things, as you can see the tomatoes behind me, and get those out, I couldn't actually get out here to do that. So the garden looks kind of similar to what it did last week, but I'm still gonna show it to you anyways because that's what these are for. So these are the tomato plants I was talking about wanting to pull out last week, and I didn't get around to it. We actually got some rain last night, and that's been a first time in, maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks. And so everything is looking really, really lush, but I still think that it's time to pull at least these ones out. I'm hoping I get a chance to this coming week. Here's the thing, I have to plan it so that my compost pile actually goes away from the house. So I have to plan it on the right day so I don't have a big pile of debris. But otherwise, we have the squash. I think at this point, the zucchini plant is probably ready to come out. I've got a couple of baby zucchinis on there, but overall the plant has seen better times. But the ground cherry, much like the ground cherry we just walked past, is sprawling. I actually have to fight the dogs on getting the ground cherries for myself rather than them just eating them. And all of my pots, I just need to reset. I've got some bunching onions right there that I could probably harvest and chop up and preserve. But otherwise the pots, I think the pots are done. I've also been starting to harvest pumpkins and other winter squash. So as you can see, that pumpkin's gone. The funny part is, this part of the plant is no longer connected to this part of the plant. So somewhere along the way, it rooted itself. We got a couple of small pumpkins that started to turn orange, but I think they're going bad. They're looking a little squishy. This one might be okay. Yeah, he looks like he's gonna be okay. But I think as soon as that one turns, I'm gonna pull up all of the plant that is in the yard and maybe the rest of it as well. Oh no, we've got 2 pumpkins. Maybe I won't be pulling it. So we'll have to wait for both of those to turn. And I have been contemplating pulling up that candy roaster and this other candy roaster. I think it's time, and I should probably do it before those cowpeas get too crazy. It looks like we're actually starting to get pods. So that's exciting. But yeah, you can see even those pots over there aren't looking the greatest. It's that time of year where I have to start thinking about putting the beds to sleep, which is rough because everything's still really green, but it's starting to show some age. Right here, we still have these snowball peppers. And then we've got these runner beans. I still don't have any pods. Started getting them, but I think they got eaten. And so here we are. Runner beanless. This whole mess of tomatoes I'm honestly done with. I want to pull it all, but also the work of pulling all of this is a little daunting. And so it just hasn't happened yet. It's one of those things that if I don't have a clear push to do it, I'll probably leave it to the last second, especially since we have things like this basil that are just helping the wildlife. That's my excuse. Do you like my excuse? It's my excuse. Peppers are stealing the show right now. These are the habanadas. And then the natapinos, which it looks like I need to come through and grab some of these red ones. You can kind of see over here, whoop, as I step on a squash. We have the ahi, and I don't know if I can get in there without tripping over all these squash. There are some pumpkin spice. I think I see a red jalapeno back there, which is probably a Jedi. I just can't get to it right now. But I will show you the squash I just stepped on. This one has been so easy to miss and step on when I'm trying to harvest peppers. It's been bad. They're all coming from this plant in this bed, which is a honey nut. Not that you can tell it's coming from this bed anymore because the carrots just took over, which is fine. That's what they're supposed to do. See if I can get myself back out. And then we got more tomatoes, which I think need a hard prune, if not pulled out. But it's such a messy experience that I haven't. I think I've had more tomatoes go bad on me on the vine this year than I ever have in the past because of weather, just because I can't get out here as much as I can, and just because of the quantity of fruit that's been produced. I haven't been able to keep up. So the beds are a little bit messier than I'm used to. And I think as a mental note for next year, we're not going to do 60 tomato plants. I can cut that back drastically. So one of my tasks over the winter will be to sort through my tomato seeds and decide what really needs to be kept and what I'm actually going to use. We've got the pond, which I just like to show because it looks so pretty. That and the kiwi. I just love how the kiwi is done this year, which leads us into the sunflowers. Look how many have opened now. These ones are my favorite. And I'm so glad that I got some of them to actually open this year. But it looks like all we got was yellow sunflowers this year, even though I planted a mix of yellow and reds. This looks like it's actually a mammoth sunflower, which I don't remember planting. I don't think I had seeds for that, but here we are. back to this bed over here. I kind of skipped over it. It looks exactly like the bed I just showed you. It's just all tomatoes at this point. And every once in a while, I see something in there that I could probably harvest. I just have to be careful because that tomato right next to it is a little bit rotten, a little bit eaten, and so very squishy. And that's a little off-putting sometimes when you accidentally grab that instead of an actual ripe, firm tomato. What I really need to do though is I need to come through here and I need to pull all of these onions and I need to preserve them before I lose them. They got lost in all these tomato plants, so I didn't get a chance to come through. There are some in the other bed as well. Mental note: pull and chop onions. Of course, here is this tomato bed, still flopping. All of the trellises pretty much gave up this year, but we've got so many things rotting on the vine anymore. I think I'm just attracting things I don't want, so I need to make a priority to come through here and pull this all up. That leads us very nicely into the peppers and a display of why I want to replace these beds. So as you can see, I'm losing soil out of the side of these beds because they're bowing so bad. I thought I had made them level enough that I wouldn't have some of these problems. Turns out I was not as good as putting these together as I thought I was. So that is why I kind of want to pull everything up and I want to have it all redone. I did a reset of the beds myself last spring where these are all just connected and I can pull them apart at any time. And so what I did is I pulled a lot of the layers off and then I flipped them around so they were bowing towards the inside more than the outside, so that maybe the pressure would equalize itself, but obviously it didn't work quite as well as I wanted it to. But we're getting a lot of peppers from here now as well. You can't see as many because some of these have just shot up like crazy, but we got some confetti, and I was just showing you the banana. And you can see some of the color, like right there and right there. That's the bolt pepper. I can go around and show you from the other side. But we've got some butterkin, which I have harvested a few, but it looks like I've got, oh, that one's rotting. Lovely. Oh, that might be what the smell is. So we got one right there, and then one in this bed, which I think is ready. You can see it in there. Chickpeas. And I'll come around and show you the bolt peppers that I was talking about. These are some of my favorite peppers. So those are the bolts. See if I can find that yellow pepper that was poking its head out. I don't see it from this side, but they're in there. Yeah, now that we're getting cooler days, I might be able to do a lot more maintenance these beds that I have been able to. Come back and do a hard prune and some pulling. But let's go to the area that's actually doing pretty good. So as you can see, the tomatoes keep up taking up more and more of the deck. I'm just kind of letting it do it. It's going to be a nightmare to come through and clean this up at the end of the season, but that's fine. I'm going to just let them do their thing until I absolutely need this bed, which is going to be sometime in November. I want to put the garlic here, and all of these will have died back by then, because we're going to get a frost probably early October, so I maybe have 3 more weeks of the garden or so. And it fascinates me that celery has grown back that quickly. So I think this celery over here is probably getting the most water with the way the system is set up, which is why some of these haven't come back quite as fast, and why the Brad's is starting to die, unfortunately. I need to come and give it a good drink. And it looks like we have a strawberry over there that I need to come back, and I need to harvest. Otherwise, we've got the peach tree, which looks like something is starting to eat my peaches. And it's still not even ready. Lovely. Oh, we got another peach over here. Also being eaten. Cool. And then we've got the eggplant right down here, which I may have let some of those eggplants go a little too far. So those ones that are lighter in color, that means they are over matured and very seedy. Need to just clean everything off that plant. I think I saw, yes, we got that peach right there. Doesn't look like anybody's eaten him yet. See if I can get that to ripen inside. Because it's starting to get there, it just needs a couple more days. And then our sad blueberry plants and our sad potted tomatoes that I just need to say they're done. So, that is a very quick tour of the garden so far and where we are at in early September. So like I said, the garden really hasn't changed that much in the past week. It is getting cooler though. We are more in the high 80s than we are in the 90s and 100s, which is very nice. We're getting very cool nights though, which we haven't gotten for a very long time. We are hitting high 50s, which when you come out here in the early morning, glorious. I'm ready for the fall weather. If you want to continue to see how this garden changes as I start to put it to bed, feel free to subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications. And of course, I have a Threads and an Instagram account if you want to follow me over on those platforms as well. I do relatively frequent photos of what I'm harvesting and what I'm preserving, so you can keep up with all of that over there. Otherwise, I am going to go inside. I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to get it to your faces, so heart your beautiful faces. Bye.